when yeah, oh yeah, okay.
You can't vote on it. Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome to Elijah's Mythbusters and Beyond talk. We posted a poll. If you guys could please participate in the poll, and we're going to get started in about another 50 seconds, about a minute. But while you're waiting to come on, please fill out the poll. You see the poll? You vote? Awesome.
All
right. There we go. We have people coming in.
When do we close the poll?
Yeah, I'll end the poll.
Oh.
It's only about 50% of the people have voted, so
yeah,
I'm gonna give them about another 5 minutes. I mean, about another minute. I'll give you about a minute total to vote on this poll. So we're up to like 55% have voted, and so far it's only about 30% yes have seen the video.
Okay, yeah, please vote on the poll, because if you have seen the video but you haven't voted, it might turn out that you might have to watch the video again, because if the majority haven't watched it, then I'm just going to play it again. Just, yeah, vote on the poll.
Okay, and we're closing the poll right now. So I will tell you, Elijah, that only the numbers have now dwindled. Only 20% have seen the video. So I'm going to end the poll.
Right.
And so I can see that only 20% saw the video. So if you want, you can show the video.
All right. I guess that's what I'm going to do first, because the thing won't really make sense. Sorry, I'm just fixing. All right. Does this? What did I just edit? Oh, that's what I did. Sorry, I'm new to. Okay, got it. I'm going to show the video on my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep, just make it full screen now.
All right. Oh, can you hear it? Is the next?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oh. Wait. Oh, wait. There's an easier way to do this. I can just use OBS share screen. Not OBS. The other thing. The other one. Here. Share screen. Host disabled attendee screen sharing. I'm not.
Sorry. You should do that now.
I'm now the code. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Screen share. This. Share. Oh, I didn't click the stupid buttons. Okay. Screen share. Share computer sound. Optimize video, whatever. And it is this one. Share. All right. To share your computer audio, please install the Zoom audio device. What?
Yeah, go back to how it was before. It was working before.
What? Okay.
It's working.
Okay. Hi, I'm Elijah Horland, and today I'll be building a video game controller for Birchbox. The materials I'll be using are normal glue sticks, glitter glue sticks, hot glue gun, from one of my favorite green teas, just so I can trace perfect circles, excess cardboard that I have from a previous project, a bottle of LaCroix, just if I get thirsty, soldering iron, 2 needle nose pliers, pencil for marking measurements down, X-Acto knife, and wire clippers. Oh, and also wire clippers. Oh, and a ruler. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Oh, and paper clips to act as the button contacts, because, you know, I'll have to be making makeshift buttons. Since this is meant to be sort of an upcycling project, the only thing that's not really upcycled in this is DuPont headers. Oh, and also I'll be using excess, the way I'll get the wire is from this broken Ethernet cable that I just had lying around. So I can just cut a foot of this and use it. So wires are even upcycled. Again, the only thing that's really not upcycled is the glue and the DuPont headers, because I've tried this without DuPont headers before, and I don't want to do that again. That was really aggravating trying to plug it in. Anyways, first step is to straighten out the paper clips. I'm sort of going to be doing this in a more conveyor belt type style, like, you know, do all of one thing first and do all of the other, just so that I don't get mixed up on what I'm doing. I've done this a couple times before, And this usually seems to be the fastest and least confusing way to go. Because eventually, once you're doing this paperclip thing, you'll get really good at doing it. And then, you know, it's time to move on to the next task. So if you do it over and over and over, does this make sense? I think it makes sense. Sort of doing the task over and over and over makes you better at it, so the longer you do it for, the better you get at it, as opposed to me doing paperclip, then putting it in, then paperclip, then putting it in. I wouldn't get as good at bending the paperclips. Oh, and in my materials list, I forgot to mention, I have a thumbtack just for priming holes. Yeah. May have been easier if I pre-straightened the paperclip, but I feel like I kind of, when doing this video, I kind of want to walk everyone sort of through the whole build process, even if it's a really basic build process. Just about done doing this. Let me just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's enough for every contact point that I need. So, next step. Sort of getting the buttons. Now, the way to do this is just to, here, I don't know how I'm going to do this conveyor belt style, but you take this, you push it real hard down on the cardboard and it leaves an imprint. I'm going to need about 8 buttons, that's what it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the reason I don't trace around the cap is because it's actually just easier to trace the outline that the cap leaves with a pencil. Tracing around the cap for me is kind of hard. And done. Now I use my X-Acto knife to cut them all out. This is not perfectly a circle. Let me fix that by just retracing the off there. Okay. See what I mean by button face? And look, I have a bunch more to cut out. So I have like 7 more to cut out. Ow. Be careful, knives are sharp. Okay, that's the last button. Let me just count them. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select. Yep, that's everything. Okay, paperclip straighten this. Next thing I need to do, cut my wires. There's a very poor way of stripping wires, especially these wires, that I like to use because it's fast and quick, but it also ruins the head of whatever you use it for. I think you know probably where I'm going with this. I'm not going to use a soldering iron head to do it because, well, I'm just not. Plus, it's overkill. All you really need is something as hot as a hot glue gun to melt the rubber off the front and tear them out. Okay. That's like 16 wires, which is well, it's way more than I need, but that's fine. Let me color code this real quick. Blue, green, okay, I guess purple. It depends on how you look at it. Alright. Use this hot glue gun to sort of press it against the table, do this, and pull. See? Strip wire. I do have a wire stripper that I could be using, but it often just cuts the wires, and the normal wire cutter that I use that has a stripper in it is the wire stripper is way too wide for this job. And Philadelphia roll. Philadelphia rolls are weird because it's the last thing I think of when I think sushi. I don't really think cream cheese in a sushi roll. Oh, a good way to think about the paper clips is to call them sort of rigid wires, because it's just an extension of the wire. All the paper clips and all the wires are going to be touching. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all 12 wires done. So, that's button number 1. I'm going to poke the holes in all the buttons first. I think I am going to use the, actually, like, double layer thing here, just because it makes for a longer lasting button. Just the other day, I had one of these break on me, because I didn't do that. So, here is this. Okay. So bend this up to get the paper clip in there. Come on, out! Okay, Metal hurts. After I'm done sliding all the paper clips into here, I'm going to need to slide the rest of the paper clips into the box. And then I wire them all up, or wait, no, yeah. I wire them up and then slide them into the box. Seems like the best way to go about things. The last of the button's done. Wire it up, twist it around, slide it down, and close the rigid wire to hold it in place. I wish it was just normal solid core, but most of the solid core wire I've encountered inside Ethernet cables and inside most other, I guess, like consumer type cables are really thin and really aggravating to work with. If it was normal solid core wire, that would be great, but unfortunately it is not. Time to mark the birch box so that I can put stuff in it. You need room for start and select at the top. This won't look like an NES controller, but it'll have the same buttons as an NES controller. I'm just gonna poke these holes in with a thumbtack before I forget. Where is my thumbtack? Where's my thumbtack? Where's my thumbtack? It's over here. Okay. I'm kind of glad I did no pre-preparation beforehand, because it pretty much takes you through the whole build process of this entire thing. From straightening the paper clips all the way to just plugging it into the RetroPie and having it recognize it as a controller. Now, I do the ground rail side of wiring things. Ground. Put that hole right here and make it really long so that I can fit all the wires through it. This is basically where all the ground rail wires are going to pop up. Hopefully everything I'm saying is starting to make sense. The reason you needed the hot glue gun in the first place wasn't just to strip the wires and leave your nozzle permanently injured. Not permanently, I can actually just rip these off. It was actually because you needed... Okay. Because you needed to hot glue this in place, the ground rail. Honestly, I'm surprised anyone trusts me at all with these things that get really hot and sharp knives and stuff. Oh, and the soldering iron is hot! Ow! The soldering iron is hot, like I said. So, I don't want to leave it on for too long. One time I left that on for a week. I'm going to mark this as G for ground. G, and then poke the hole. Poke, poke, poke. Come on, get through. So I normally prime my holes with thumbtacks. And this gasket. Come on, it's going to be a lot of glitter hot glue. Okay. And poke the hole for the D-pad. I'll mark this. Oh, right. G. Sorry. Got covered by the hot glue. Now, D. For D-pad. Directional pad. What is up? What is up? Up is green. Orange is right, if I remember correctly. Yes, right is orange, up is green. This is where the color coding is starting to matter. Just barely avoids each other. I'm probably going to need to trim it here on both buttons. Means it's time for the hot glue. Glitter hot glue, the green stuff. Okay. And I thought the paper clips would be the most boring part of this, but it turns out waiting for glue to dry is the most boring part of this. I know, who could have seen that coming? Anyways, all the D-pad wires are now in, and look at that. Pretty good wire routing, too. 2 buttons left. Start is going to be brown. And select green. So, if for some reason you want to do this exactly the way I did this was my color coding method. I'm using the forward-facing camera, so I can't tell what's in frame and what isn't. I know for a fact when I stand up, I don't think my head is in frame. Seal it up. So, after this, all the buttons should be put in, and all that's left to do is put on the DuPont headers, label them, and decorate the box. Dots and squiggles, that's what I want. Specifically in green. Green's a cool color. Okay. See what I mean? NES controller, A, B, start, select, D-pad. NES controller. Up, down, left, right, plus, minus, A, B. There we go. Everything is in, everything is routed. All that's left to do is put on the DuPont headers. Get on there. Perfect. Okay. Let's see if it connects to a normal header. It connects pretty well. Okay. Next one. Probably isn't the best way to store it, but what's the worst that could happen? It looks like I smeared the labels on with ketchup. No turning back now. Okay. There we go. Okay. I haven't really explained what I'm doing. So basically this wire doesn't have a header, which means it's harder to plug into this wire, but this wire does have a header, which means I can just like plug it in. Maybe it would have been a good idea to have an overhead camera, but it's too late for that afterthought, because you can't exactly see what I'm doing. I'm basically just soldering the end of the wire to the end of the DuPont header. Come on. Only 2 more wires to go, and pretty much everything's cleared from this side. That was definitely intentional. How many iterations do you think they went through to get the first NES controller perfect? Because, like, now you see controller iterations going for, like, what fits your hand the best, but the NES controller was literally just, like, a box with buttons on it. And... perfect! All 12 wires... okay, please don't get caught on my soldering iron cleaner. All 12 wires are now good to go, which means it's time to start plugging things in. I had a color code. I hope it's still correct. On what color wire was what. So all the grounds plug into the ground wires. Next is the D-pad. On. And I will configure the controller. Step over there and figure the controller. If you've used RetroPie, pretty much the best thing to plug into it is a run-of-the-mill. Oh, I do not have phone. Never mind. Turn this off, please. This is probably not the best idea, but off. Where's your phone? Where the heck is the phone? I need to stuff. Boom! Window phone. Flip all the buttons over. Cut it. Cut it. Take the foam, it's sticky on the inside. Place it on one side of the contact thing. And you place one on the other. It's like two-sided. And this will spring it back up, basically. Because when you press it down, the foam will compress, and then when you lift up, it'll uncompress. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me in the live thing that I'm doing at this Maker Faire. Okay? Now I flip all the buttons back over to their previous state. Doesn't make sense. Okay, one gamepad detected. That's this. It detected this. Good. Let's see here. Emulation station. Hey, one gamepad detected. Okay. D-pad up. D-pad down. Left. Right. Start. Select. A. B. Hey, the controller works. Right, left, left. A. A. Hey, look at that. All the buttons work. Look at that. Works perfectly. Works like a charm. I mean, that doesn't help me get better at the game, but yeah. Cardboard controller. I've been Elijah Horland, and thank you for watching my video entry into the Miami Maker Faire. Hope to see you there. Okay, that was the Well, that was like that was my video entry, but the stuff that I'm gonna do basically probably won't make sense without showing you that first. Since it wasn't immediately obvious what I was doing for the. Oh, right, no. First, let me show you the controller.
Yeah, stop the share. Stop the share so we
Okay.
can have full screen.
Oh, right. Sorry. Stop here. Sorry. Right. Okay. So where is OBS? It's over here. Here's the controller. I can just demo it playing a game really quickly since here. I have Super Mario Bros. 3, Tetris. Might as well just do Super Mario Bros. 3. To show you all the buttons work, because you didn't really get the greatest view of it in the video. So just wait for the ROM to load, and then I actually got these start and select buttons, sorry, not start and select, A and B buttons mixed up with their placement, I'm pretty sure. But that's fine. It's like here, you can see left, jump. Sorry, wait, no, left, right, jump, you know, all that stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's the controller. Here, I can show you how to make a button because it wasn't immediately obvious. And it's actually really simple if you want to make your own cardboard button. The entire idea of the controller in the first place was that you could make it pretty much entirely at home. So all you need to do is get pretty much any sturdy bottle cap, press it down onto scrap cardboard, trace out with a marker or pencil. Right? And then cut that out. Right? It'll take a second to cut out. It doesn't need to be perfectly circular, just enough to give the vague idea of a button. Like you saw in the video, most of mine were not perfectly circular. Couple of diagrams. All right. So once you have the button, you basically just take a paper clip, straighten it out, right? Then, oh, I forgot a thumbtack. I have those in my drawer. I always use them, which probably isn't good for when I'm moving around my office without slippers, because I'm bound to step on them. Anyways, you take a thumbtack and you put it through. See how there's like 2 layers of cardboard or like paper in the cardboard? You put it through one of them, and then do the same. Or sorry, put through both of them in the middle, and then there. So you can slide it in between the 2 layers, and then through this, and then out this way. It may, oh, yeah, I was about to say the cardboard might snap when you're doing this, but easy because, you know, it's just a bunch more. This is intended. It's not perfectly straight. There we go. That's actually cool. Then you just take it into the hole. This one can, it may take a little bending of the button to get the paper clip to the second one, but that's fine. Okay. So then pretty much all you need to do is take another paper clip, right? Okay. And then put that side, put this like paperclip rail, like this would be the contact rail for the box. Put it in here, like into your button platform, whatever you're going to use. In this case, I'm using Birchbox again since I have an excess of them. And then put your button above it. And then bam, you have, without the foam, you have 2 contacts. Then all you need on this side is a wire on the box side and a wire on the button side, and you can detect it through most microcontrollers. The idea of the cardboard controller was, I keep on messing up and using my mouse and not my mouse pad. The idea of the original cardboard controller was to make sort of an upcycled video game controller because, I don't know, I thought it looked cool, and my mom was keeping a bunch of birth boxes, and I didn't really know what to do with them. Also, I really wanted to know how to use the Raspberry Pi, the RetroPie GPIO next, because I want to build an arcade cabinet. Here, if anyone has any questions about the build, there's a Q&A. Here, there's a Q&A button.
We have some questions for you. I have some questions for you already that's come in.
Are they in the? I have the Q&A thing open in Zoom. I cannot.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. There's some from the post in the chat before.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you some of those.
Looking in chat.
So I guess there's one from Kara, which is, by the way, did you happen to see a purple pterodactyl with teal undertones that tastes like green grapes and can shoot lasers out of its eyes?
Right. No, actually, I haven't recently. That was actually a joke I used to, or joke, something I would used to repeat during the recording of Mythbusters, or during like the shooting of Mythbusters Jr. in the break room or whatever. Basically, I made it to annoy my friend. I don't know how it came about. I forgot how it came about and how all the details got made. Are there any others?
Yeah. What is your favorite hot sauce?
My favorite hot sauce. Crystal. I believe that's the name of it. Green cap. It tastes like Red Hot, but better.
And then another one is, how do you get your ideas?
How do I get my ideas? I don't sleep for 2 days, and then basically I just think of whatever comes to my mind. Like this one time, I hadn't, like, I was staying up doing homework and stuff, and was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could drive like an RC car around the classroom from my laptop? Because my school allows you to use your laptop to do your work, so they wouldn't be able to tell it was me. And then basically I spent the next couple months doing that exactly. And then with stuff like smaller ideas like the security camera, basically I was staying up playing Minecraft, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if I knew when my parents were walking down the hallway so that I could, hide really fast, or like hide my games really fast. And that's why I built the night vision cameras.
And then the other one was, can you talk about your experience on Mythbusters Jr.?
Oh, my experience on Mythbusters Jr. is actually really nice. All the producers were cool. It was a lot friendlier than I was expecting it to be going in. And well, they took safety to basically another level. I couldn't run, which was obvious, but also, like, if I had my shoes untied for like a millisecond, they tell me to tie my shoes. They're even, I wore on the show sweater with like my sweater, but without like the pull strings. And they were still scared that it would get caught in some kind of solvent. So they had me take it off when I was using like some of the higher electrical like cutting tools. So yeah, it was basically just really fun and surprisingly fun and really safe. Not surprisingly safe. I'm not surprised that they took that to another level. Are there any others?
Nope, that's it. I know you wanted to talk about some of your other experiences on Mythbusters. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, I was going to talk about them okay, so recently, actually, let me talk about something else first, something a bit more
okay, sure. Fine. Yes.
So I have a couple of projects I kind of want to sort of show. Right, they're over here. Well, I haven't shown this off too much, I don't think. This is that idea I was talking about earlier about, sort of that RC car that I was going to drive around in class and control from my laptop. This is basically that. I used 4-motor controller boards because I forgot, or I didn't know at the time that you could power 1-motor controller board with just a bunch of batteries and tell it what to do from the Raspberry Pi's GPIO, and then I didn't know that all I needed was to power 2 sides instead of 4 individual motors. I corrected it a lot in my next iteration of this, but this is the one that I actually drove around the classroom. It has a live camera feed. Currently, the camera isn't hooked up because I had to repurpose the camera cables for something else. And the battery would sit back here. Oh, yeah, and these sort of, all my projects pretty much run off the same batteries, which is just your common household, I can just take it out of here. Phone, these. The portable phone charging batteries. I either rip them out or keep them in their case. In this one's case, it's like sort of fast swappable. So with the camera, if it runs out of battery, then I can just take it out and put it back in and then plug it in. It has a static IP address, so I can always log into it, and it'll always be the same thing every time. And let me get the next model of the rat. And I'll get to the reason why it's called the rat. Right. And the reason why it's called the rat is there literally is no reason. I didn't know what else to call it. I originally kind of wanted it to have sort of a paper mache shell that would look like a rat, but then I decided that it's too big for it to actually look like a rat. Here is the smaller version. This one doesn't, oh yeah, the last one could speak, by the way. I was using a Raspberry Pi text-to-speech thing. But this one can't because it's using Raspberry Pi Zero W and I didn't have a speaker, and it's really compact, but the next iteration probably won't use gearbox motors. See how like these motors, they're kind of big because they have the gearbox at the end. Here, I can take the wheel out just to show you. The actual motor's up here, and then the rest of it's just making sure that it has like more rotations per minute or whatever. The other ones, the next one will probably be way smaller, given that I don't have to use gearbox motors. That's basically everything I have to show you with the rat, but with some other projects like this is a fairly old one, but it's another simple thing you can pretty much do at home. It just takes 2 batteries that you can find in one of those portable phone battery things, a Raspberry Pi Zero W, which is like $10. That's really cheap. And then just the controller board from the same battery ripped out of this in an Altoids box. So that's pretty much all you need to do this. This is a video game controlling. This is like a semi-portable video game console. It can play all 8-bit and 16-bit games, and I'm pretty sure with the newer versions of RetroPie, you can go up to N64 or something, but I wouldn't recommend that with the Pi Zero. Oh, this is actually a Pi Zero. I just realized this isn't a Zero W. This specific model is like $5. Really cheap.
Elijah, we have some other questions.
Okay.
A question that just came in is, what have been some of your favorite projects and makers that you've seen at other fairs?
What have been my favorite projects and makers I've seen at other fairs? So the first time I'm going to tell a couple of things. I met some really cool people at Maker Faire. Actually, the first time I met Ali Weber, my co-host at Mythbusters Junior, one of my co-hosts on Mythbusters Junior, was at a Maker Faire. I don't know. Obviously, you know what happened to her. She went on Mythbusters Junior. Now we're friends on Twitter. That stuff. But some other stuff. Project that I saw at Maker Faire. I'm trying to remember. It was one of Evil Mad Scientist's projects, Lenore. Basically taking a chip that would be very small and very simple and just blowing it up so that you can see all the individual stuff that's happening on it. I believe I saw that again later. But with other stuff, I'm trying to remember projects I saw at Maker Faire that I actually got into, like what would happen afterwards. Because there aren't really follow-ups until like the next Maker Faire.
Yeah, how many Maker Fairs have you been to?
I've been to every New York Maker Faire since 2016. And I've been to the Bay Area Maker Faire twice, I think. Yeah, twice. Once? No. It was twice. And then I've been to some other mini Maker Fairs, and I've been to like a really smaller Maker Faire at a Barnes and Noble, and let's see, I've been to the virtual, obviously the like global virtual Maker Faire, and now the Miami Maker Faire, which is this one. So I haven't been to that many compared to like a Maker Faire veteran, but you know. I actually have a sweater with all my patches on it. Unfortunately, I didn't have the forethought to wear that today because it's just sitting in my closet. I honestly just forgot to bring it up.
No problem.
Yeah.
Are you working on any other projects currently? Are you in the process of working on any other projects?
Yes, I'm trying to get a Minecraft server online, but yeah, I'm getting all the server parts. It turned out Minecraft isn't good at doing like multi-threading, multi-core processing stuff. And the processor I was trying to use for the server I was trying to use, the Minecraft server I was trying to host, um, had a bunch of really small, like smaller cores that couldn't really do much. But it's good for like multi-threaded processes. Minecraft really utilizes more like larger cores, but processor with fewer but larger cores that can do more. Other projects that I'm working on is sort of like a cover for a butterfly tank. I have the prototype built, but it basically only lets filtered air in because my neighbors have recently started spraying this poison called Biffin. It doesn't matter. All you need to know is that it's poison and it gets rid of bugs, but it also gets rid of, well, it gets rid of everything pretty much. So caterpillars, bugs, which means if I'm not at home to like seal all the windows and turn off all the air conditioners, anything that might let air into the house, then the caterpillars will just die because the tank is open. What I built was something that it's basically a HEPA filter with a fan on top and a fan on the bottom, and it pushes filtered air into the tank. And it covers everywhere else so that the unfiltered air can't get in.
Where can people follow you to see some of these projects?
Right. You can follow me on Twitter at at Not a Bomb Bunky. I would also like to talk about a bit more of a serious issue. There have been two Mythbuster deaths recently, or at least there's been three, but two that people have been focusing on, which is Jesse Combs and Grant Imahara. I'd like to sort of just mention John Tessier, the executive producer for Mythbusters Jr. and producers for other stuff like Savage Builds and the White Rabbit Project, has also passed away this year. Yeah, I'd just like to mention that. It's a bit of a more serious topic, but I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, what has been? Yeah, okay, I saw that. Oh, my favorite projects. I didn't answer the favorite project part. One of my more favorite projects I've seen. Sorry, let me give context to what I'm about to say, because it seems like I just jumped from a very serious topic to a very lighthearted question. But the question that I tried to answer earlier, but didn't really answer in its entirety, it just caught my eye again in chat. I noticed I didn't answer what was my favorite project that I've seen in Maker Faire, or some of my favorite projects. At New York Maker Faire, there's this really big metal arm that my friends, one of my friends' little brothers got to use it. Basically, they were demoing it, and it could pick up cars and smash them. And that was just a really cool idea to me, just a giant hand used for demolition, stuff like that. I really like to see useless ideas happen like that at a Maker Faire. And one of my other favorite things I've seen at a Maker Faire is a handheld sort of flamethrower. Well, handheld. All flamethrowers are, most flamethrowers are handheld. I mean like a arm mounted with fire coming out at the end of the hand. That was one of my other favorite things I've seen at a Maker Faire. What have been some of my favorites? Yeah, okay. Are there any other questions?
Doing checking on the site now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, there's a Q&A thing. It's giving me a notification that one is there, but whenever I click on it, I can't open the Q&A. No, I don't want to open Blu-ray Player Pro. Why are so many things? No, I didn't mean to click on that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Q&A panel. No open questions. Answered. Anonymous attendee. Oh, that was the question that I answered before.
How many projects at Mythbusters did you learn a new skill? So when you got to Mythbusters Junior, are there any skills you learned from being on the show?
From being on the show, I pretty much learned how to. This may seem a bit ridiculous, but before I got on the show, I pretty much didn't know how to use a drill. I'd mainly been using like my handheld Dremel tools, not an actual drill. So I learned how to easily get the bit out. I learned how to put it in, and I also learned basically there's this tool that I forget what it's called, but you can sort of, it's like a spinning saw blade and it's on a sort of arm and you can pull it down. All I remember from that was it's very important. There's like a blood bubble that you really shouldn't put a lot of your body parts in I basically learned most tool safety stuff because that's the important stuff you need to know when working with it. It's surprising that I didn't know that stuff before, but I still somehow survived. Also, had I fired a fire? No, I had fired a fire extinguisher a little bit before Mythbusters Junior, but I believe that was my first time like firing one that much on the ice rink. You know, the can you use a fire extinguisher as an effective jetpack in Space Myth. I don't have the Hoover thing open.
Okay.
Huh?
So here's another question for you. So on the show, how long do those builds usually take? Because obviously for TV it's cut to time. So how long does one of those builds usually take?
One episode usually takes like about a week. There are some outliers like one episode usually takes a week. But there's some outliers like the pencil episode where we had to pick it up a while later because obviously all the pencil things have to be drawn. But yeah, usually the sort of span an episode will take is a week. Are there any other?
I think that's it. I mean, we have you have an 8-minute closing if you want. You can have some time to close. I definitely want to tell people where to follow you on Twitter, where to follow you on your projects.
I'll send it to all panelists and attendees.
And I'll post that inside the chat. So.
Sorry. Hold on. Actually, no. I'm opening thing. I have to close some stuff. If anyone wants to sort of get into if anyone wants to start with making, I would really suggest the Raspberry Pi Zero W. I guess starting with like Raspberry Pi stuff and microcontrollers and stuff. I would suggest the Raspberry Pi Zero W because it's basically like a tiny desktop. It is a tiny desktop that runs its own flavor of Debian called Raspbian. It's a really interesting computer, and it's what I got started. Well, it's not what I got started. I got started on the Raspberry Pi 2B. But if I had a choice, like if I had to start making from any computer, I would suggest the Raspberry Pi Zero W. It's compact. It has its own interface. It's easy to learn, and even if you don't use it for a lot of makery projects, it's just a backup desktop pretty much. And I accidentally broke something. Here's where you can find me on Twitter. I don't have another. I'm mainly on Twitter. You could also find my YouTube channel, which is if you just search up Elijah Horland, I'm sure my.
Yeah, if you can post it here, Elijah, so I can drop that in both chats, and then that'll make it easier for me to post and share.
In the Zoom.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and here, let me also link my YouTube channel where you can find the video. Hold on. Switch account. My computer takes forever to load. Right. Are there any sort of questions or any other questions that popped up? Oh, no. I gotta, okay. Now switch accounts back so that I can get the normal one. Okay. Okay. Here. This should be the link to my YouTube channel. All right. So I have about about 6 minutes left. I think this has definitely been the other virtual Maker Faire honestly set a pretty low bar to get over, but this Miami Maker Faire has definitely been like it went way above all my expectations for it. You know, with virtual Maker Faires, I feel like switching to the whole virtual plane of doing everything has definitely been hard, but I hope, you know, more things like this will happen where people get more into the swing of things and have stuff like the Hoover and everything so connected like this. I especially like that you can attend all like the live streams from one place. That was another issue with the other virtual Maker Faire. Anyways.
We have one last question is, with your current experience, what would you recommend as a starting project to someone without any kind of experience on electronics or programming?
Starting project. I would recommend sort of either a soldering, obviously the most obvious thing to do would be a sort of a soldering kit, but if you want to do like a completely almost from scratch project, I would recommend something with Raspberry Pi blinking lights in a certain pattern, or just messing around with the Google API recognition software stuff. Honestly, it sounds complicated, but it's not, and it's just really fun. But for someone who's like first getting started making blinking LEDs back and forth, it teaches you sort of most of the things you'll need to know. And definitely at some point make an RC car, because that's fun, and also it's fun, and it teaches you how to use motor controller boards.
Have you ever used any like soldering kits, like any soldering kits you play with, or anything you ordered?
If I were to recommend a soldering kit right now to, like, I guess beginners, I don't know how hard this is. I built it, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's easy. It is easy. Let me rephrase that. It is easy. Look at the back. All the soldering stuff is this. This is an IC Station retro game kit. If you just look up, it's an IC Station kit. Basically, you can play retro games on it, like Tetris and some other stuff. It's on their website. Really fun to start out with, and unlike some other soldering kits, which you might not get a lot of use out of, this has been my favorite desk toy. Like, not even. I have a Rubik's Cube. I don't play with my Rubik's Cube as much as I play with this. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Elijah. Anything you want to end with? Closing remarks?
Closing remarks? Just have a good Maker Faire. And thanks for listening to my live stream. Or I think thanks for watching my live stream.
Yeah, thank you for your time. I will be posting these videos before the end of the day inside the Q&A chat, and also inside the community center. We built a thing. We have a message board that has all the recorded videos. Elijah, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for building your project. Thank you for being on with us. You're awesome, and you're one of my favorite makers, so that's awesome to have you on today. And thank you guys all for coming to Miami Maker Faire virtually. I hope you have a great day. Hope you see some of the other talks. We have Liz from Blitz City coming on in about 10 minutes, and her stuff is pretty awesome. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Follow my Twitter. Leave on the last thing, follow my Twitter. All right.